He sees you when you're
Dun, 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 dun,
sleeping. He
dun.
knows when you're awake. Kind of a stalker song, but we'll go
What?
with it. Listen, we were backstage cracking ourselves up,
Oh my.
and we're
Always.
just going to keep it going. For those of you who are unfamiliar, we are back with another episode of Trap Recruiter and the Shark present Rocking Around the Recruiter Tree. Today, our
Mhm.
special guest is Wendy Dailey,
Wendy in the house.
one of the most active mommies I know, owner of Daily Scoops Ice Cream, Girl Scout troop leader, and cookie connoisseur, my cookie plug for sure. TA professional with over 20 years of experience, the current HR content writer at Mineral, former co-host of HR Social Hour and HR Wonder Women. Joining us from Brookings, South Dakota is Wendy.
Is there any time left after all of that?
Wow, that was big time.
That's short compared to my normal ones, right? No?
No, you did a
No,
great job
that's
with
good.
building up the energy, the voice,
Yeah.
different tones. Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you. Wendy, anything else you want to add?
No, I think you covered all of it.
Oh, wow.
You got it all.
I love that for me. So we're making our best attempt to have a recruiter holiday show. However, like this, we're old friends, so we try to talk. So we're going to start off with some recruiter questions and probably go off the rails and just have a real conversation.
Love it.
Just get
Maybe
over
about
it.
football, the Minnesota Vikings. Is that what's in the back?
That is in the back. Yeah, we won't talk about yesterday's game.
That's okay. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. We won't talk about my team either. Jeez.
Listen, the accents are coming out today. Oh
Yinzers.
my God. Stillers, like the number of times you said Stillers and they were backstage talking about Eagle Scouts and Girl Scouts. And when I tell you the number of times Rich said Eagles, like Eagle Scout, I was cracking up.
Leave my accent alone.
I love it.
Makes me different, Wendy. You know that, right? There's only one shark out there.
I could bring out the Midwest. Don't you know? Gosh. Oh, gosh, yeah. Oops.
I love it. I love it. I love when we can all be ourselves.
Yes.
So like I said, we're gonna jump in because we're trying to keep our shows, at like 20-minute, half-hour mark. But I created like 17,000 questions, so that doesn't lend well to.
You read through the questions going, how long is this show again?
Right, I do my best. That's
okay.
All right.
We know.
So first question, having been a TA professional recruiter over 20 years, what unique challenges do recruiters face during the holiday season? And how do you navigate them to ensure a smooth hiring process?
Every year seemed to be a little bit different with when you hit the holidays, because what's happening, the ones that stick out the most are the ones where all of a sudden people are getting laid off and companies are slowing down. And as a recruiter, you see both. You see a ton of influx of applications just pouring in because everybody's applying for anything and everything. At the same time, you're kind of hearing on the back, are we slowing down? Are we speeding up? What are we doing? Because you don't quite know where everything is. So if you don't have that transparency at the top, from the top down, of what's happening in your own organization, it can be really stressful as that TA professional going, okay, I came in on a Monday morning and I have like 500 new applications for this entry-level position. Are we even hiring right now? What are we doing? How do I get through it? And at the same time, people are saying, "Oh, it slows down for recruiting at the end of the year." I don't know who started that rumor.
Oh, that's awful. I know. Thank you.
It continues, right? You keep hearing,
Yes.
recruitment, that's your slow time, right? And when I was in a smaller HR office once, and it was like benefits on one side and our recruitment staff on the other side. Mm-hmm. Benefits was always like, well, this is your slow time, so you can help us with open enrollment. And we're like,
no way.
No.
Yeah.
How does that work that we help you during your one busy time of the year and we don't get any support?
Oh my.
We're busy all the time. Recruitment
That
is
amazing.
it doesn't really, you may slow down a little bit, but I don't think I've ever worked. Well, okay, I'll take it back. I did work one place where recruitment actually stopped, but that was 9/11, and that was a long time ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we won't talk about that.
We won't go back that far.
Hey, Wendy, I got a quick question for you. So what do you think of companies right now stockpiling, like putting ads out there for jobs they don't have just to get
stop
to the
it.
door? I know. Thank you. And
Stop
I've
it.
seen
Don't
it before.
do that.
Yeah.
That is okay. It's not
You've
just
seen it
mean
before
to the
too.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've never done it. I've never worked anywhere that does it, thank God. It's not just rude to your candidates. The people who are like, oh, hey, here's a job. I just got laid off. I'm going to apply for this job. It's so mean to your staff.
Yes.
Because you have to deal with these people coming in and maybe contacting you, maybe emailing, maybe however you have it set up to reach out to folks now. They're going to follow up. And what are you supposed to tell them? Oh, what do you tell people? You don't have a job.
You don't answer the phone, right? That's what you do, right?
Yeah. Well, we're still looking at candidates and we'll contact you after the first of the year. It's just rude. It's rude to
I see a lot of
everybody.
that I don't know if you guys see, but on Indeed especially, there's a lot of bogus jobs on Indeed now. You know,
Oh yeah. Well, some of that was from like companies, especially offshore companies. No disrespect, but I'm just being honest. Offshore companies that are just go on people's websites and take their jobs down.
Oh.
And then try to sell. Then try to, they'll do the interviewing and stuff, and then they'll try and sell a candidate to a company before they even get, the contract to fill the job.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of companies that will say not open to third party recruiters. I mean, we see that so many times. So some of that is, and what is your advice for job seekers when they are seeing how can you spot when a job is quote unquote fake?
Oh, I think the best advice is to go to the company's website.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And see, is it there? Is it a real job?
If the domain's down, then no way.
Right. Well, I mean, even from in the past, you both are familiar with job scraping, where like Indeed and all those. Oh, we go once a week and we scrape your jobs. So that's always been my advice. If you see it on Indeed, you see it on Monster, you see it on any of those sites, go to our site first. Make sure it's still there, because our jobs, they're not. It's not, and maybe it's more often now, but it's never instantaneous. So you fill your job on your own site, take it off your own site. It's going to take a bit for it to come off those other sites. It might be 5 minutes. It might be 5 days. You don't know.
Yeah.
So it's great to see those jobs out there, but always double check. Always double check.
All right. And how would you manage when, like we just mentioned, there's a job and it's a real job, but you've got 4 companies calling you about the same job? How do you what do you
problem to have?
That's an excellent problem to have.
Why aren't these recruiters calling me? No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. Let's flip.
I'm kidding. I'm not looking for a job. I love my job. I really do love my job.
I am.
Yes. But don't call me. Call Kristen.
Yeah.
Call Kirsten. I actually personally, I've never worked with a third party recruiter as a candidate. I never have. So I probably don't have the best advice with it. But number one advice, don't give them money.
Never.
Don't give them
money.
Do not give
for resume or nothing ever.
Money.
We are free all the time. The shark is free for the candidate. 100%.
Yeah. I'd love for you to chime in on that, Rich, because that is your wheelhouse.
No, the big thing I say is, you know what? If a recruiter calls you, you reach out to a recruiter, you're building that rapport with me. You're not going to go with the other 3 recruiters, even if they have the same. And I've had that before where they try to cherry pick you. I go lie. I build a brand, that, Wendy, that they don't leave the shark because they're like, dude, you're fucking crazy and you're going to get me the job. No, seriously. It's
right.
And the other recruiters are like, well, this is what we have. In the beginning, I'm talking about them. So I think at the end of the day, you got to go with somebody that knows you, can talk football, but also can talk about the job that you trust, that when they put your name out there, they're representing you and you're going to do a good job for them. we're not just recruiting and forgetting about you. You're with me for life.
Well, I think that's really good advice too, is, make sure that they know about the job. Can they answer your questions about the job? Can they answer pay? Can they answer benefits? Can they answer, is it remote? Is it in person? Is it hybrid? What is it? Because, I do hear those stories out there where, oh yeah, I'm really interested. What's the pay? Oh, well, we don't discuss pay.
No way.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Exactly. You discussed everything. You know what's great about it, Wendy and KG, is if I don't have that job for you, I can put you somewhere else. It's like football. I can plug and play you. So if this job's not a fit for you, I'm not just going to push you away. I recruit for everything. So
is that the portal? Are we opening the portal? Is that what it's called?
You know it, baby. No, it's the ocean of opportunity, I call it.
Ocean of opportunity. Okay. Okay. That goes with the shark.
Yeah. I know. You notice what's going on. Yep.
Rich, I'm throwing it to you.
All right, so let's go. Let me pull this up real quick here. KG
has any question you want. Listen, anyone you want. I'm not doing this.
Next in line.
No, I love this one, Wendy. So here we go. How do you and your team balance urgency of filling positions before the end of the year? So you have urgent positions. People say it's slow time, which we know it's not. You almost answered that. How do you get them motivated to fill that position yourself?
Aren't all of them urgent? Every hiring manager I've ever worked with, my position is the most important job to fill.
That's right. You're calling them and say, hey, did you get anybody yet?
Yeah. Have you filled this job yet? No, I'm sorry. You're looking for CNAs and you're paying $9 an hour. No, we're not going to find any CNAs.
Time out. Did you ever tell them that? Because I'll be honest with you, I do. I call them out all the time. Like I turn stuff away because I can't fill for that price range.
Yeah. I was always in-house recruiter, so I really couldn't have those types of conversations. But I was always upfront with my candidates of, this is what the job pays. If you can't take that I understand, but let's be upfront right from the very start. I think the biggest urgency I ever got from hiring managers at the end of the year was wanting people to start sooner, And maybe you'd have your candidate, it's December and the candidate's like, I want to give 2 weeks notice. Let's start after the first of the year. And your hiring manager's like, no, I need them right away. So finding that balance with that hiring manager and your candidate with what works for them, because, having that reminder of you would want them to give you notice if they were leaving. So we need to let them give notice. It is the holidays. People have got stuff planned. Let's let them do their planned stuff too. But and honestly, that's balanced throughout the year, isn't it?
Exactly.
Because your hiring manager wants them to start tomorrow because they need someone who can hit the ground running.
It doesn't work like that though. Like even in the most,
that's not real life.
No, it doesn't. That's where we have to come in as a recruiter. I call myself a job agent where I represent them. I go into the hiring manager because I built that report and said, dude, or this ain't working, it ain't going to work this way. So
let's find something that balances.
You're going to lose this person and I'm going to represent him somewhere else. So and at that point you push it back on him and you're like, okay.
Yeah. Let's find something that works for everybody here and figure it out without, breaking a bunch of rules. Cause I did a lot of healthcare hiring, and that is, you got to do certain things before you start. You can't just start and then come back and do compliance and stuff later. You got to do a whole bunch of training out front. And the number of hiring managers that, well, they can just start on Friday. No,
they messes the whole cycle up. Like Friday, most people on Friday are done at noon anyway. Their brain is right.
We have to balance this out with what's happening and what's going on with the rest of the world, thinking of the big picture. So even from a smaller organization to a larger organization, making sure you have that balance and everyone understands what that one decision, all the downstream things that are going to affect it, because it's not just you and the recruiter, it's payroll, it's the people doing, if there's security, if there's other things, there's all these other people that have to be involved in getting that person onboarded and into the right classes and into the right training and into the right orientation. It's pretty rare that I would think even like a Walmart and Target, you don't get to just show up the next day and start working.
They have training. They have classes, I think.
Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff you have to do. I obviously the smaller an organization is, the less of that you have to do. And maybe it is a little, I know some small businesses here in Brookings that, yes, you could probably start tomorrow, but we've got other stuff we were going to have you do at the same time.
But if that onboarding is confusing, they're going to walk away, and that costs you so much money. We don't even get into that, but onboarding costs so much money, and they just drop off a week later. It's like, you want to make sure you welcome them in and they're excited to be there, that they understand what's happening, that they aren't going to be lost. At lunchtime, they're on the phone saying, hey, I'll take that other job.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think about some of the jobs my daughter has had. I think she's had 3 jobs since turning 15. And one of them she went to work for, she never saw her manager. Manager never reached out. I said, well, have you talked to your manager? No. Well, when do you go to work? Well, they told me to show up this day. I'm like, okay.
Was this like in retail or restaurant?
No, it was the hospital in town.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Really?
Yeah. And she was working outside. She was doing, like the mowing and gardening stuff. Mm-hmm. But even so, she had no idea.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
That's that disconnect that we have to, as a middle group here, we have to put everybody together, because I think really the hiring managers and some of them, they're in la la land. They think it's their way or the highway. And we can't think that, well, you know what, if that employee don't want the job, somebody else right behind it. Maybe not.
And there's a lot, unfortunately, there's a lot of TA people that still think that way.
True.
They still see themselves as, I'm just the order taker. I'm just doing what I'm told. And we need to be a lot more proactive in that to make sure that our candidates have a good experience, because especially, hey, small town here, one person has a bad experience, they're going to tell everybody.
Well, the best thing to say is, I always say, without the candidate, when I get a job with me, I was like, without you, I don't have a job. And without me, you don't get hired. Yep. There's that teamwork right there.
It is. It's all about teamwork. And we're all going for the same goal. We're all our goal is the same, is to hire the right people so that our organization can be successful.
Yes.
Speaking of hiring and goals, you have a memorable recruiting success story that holds particular significance during this holiday season.
Oh, yeah. I saw this one. I was trying to think of one. Because I did a lot of entry level hiring. And even when I was working for the university here, we did a lot of that overnight night staff, because our custodial staff would come in at night to clean up. And I remember this is more on the retention side than the recruiting side, but we had one of our staff people was struggling. And so we came in at night and helped her figure out how to work some of the computer stuff. Because they didn't spend a lot of time on it, but we were switching over systems, and just helping her figure out the voice activation stuff on a lot of that. I'm pretty sure it was around the holidays, because I remember it was cold. It was cold at night. Midnight going in.
It not cold in South Dakota?
In the
Sorry.
Summer.
Okay.
In the summer, it's hot. We get into the hundreds in the summer.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
We have the worst of both worlds here.
Gotcha. Okay. Forgive me.
But being able to, and honestly, we all know this. Our current employees are our best recruiters, and so being there, helping them, letting them know we're there for them, doing what we can to make their life better. They then bring in more people, and that was our night shift. Who wants to work night shift? But we would have a steady stream of applicants, because people knew it was a good place to work, and our leadership supported them.
That's so awesome. Rich, throwing it back to you again.
Yes. Okay. We're a little off record on this one. So, recruiter burnout, big time, all the time. It's the end of the year. What do you tell recruiters during a holiday to kickstart them in 2024? We're big on
that question.
Not that
That's
new
a great
me,
question.
but where do we go?
Grab your wine, rum. No, I'm kidding.
No, that works. Grab it.
But so yeah, it really the thing that I think is the biggest thing with burnout is we do not take time.
Yeah.
We don't. We feel that pressure. We feel that anxiety to get the job filled, doing whatever it takes, working extra, staying late, doing all of that. Excuse me. So making sure you take time for yourself, take those days off. Do not don't roll everything over. Do not be a martyr. Do not be a hero, because I guarantee the other people in your office are going there and, oh, why are they working again?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not, and it's not, in my own personal experience, it doesn't pay off. You don't get that big promotion that you think is going to come because you're working all those extra hours and bringing in more people, because there's only so much you can do. There's only so much people are going to, not everyone's going to answer the phone.
Nope.
Calling them one more time isn't necessarily going to do the trick, and it can wait till tomorrow.
It sure is.
My one, I think I was with Christina Minyard that I said, there's no recruitment emergency. There's no recruitment emergency.
That's a mindset that
it is. I think one thing, guys, it's about emotions too. I think so many recruiters are emotional. They that human connection, they take it too personal. If somebody doesn't take the job or they get angry with them. If somebody angry or cusses me out on the phone, which never happens, I'm just going to say, hey, have a great day. Political,
you get cussed out? I used to get cussed out sometimes.
When I worked at People Ready, day-to-day labor, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, there was a couple of times they said my Mercedes will be on blocks if they don't get paid that day. And an email. Ooh, I was like, ooh.
I worked in defense contracting. So I got threatened sometimes, and to the point that we had to, even before now, like we had to take our address off of our signature. So because people would come and stalk us, like people would stalk us.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and it's personal for them. I know a lot of times we like to say it's just business, but it's not. It's personal to those candidates, to our employees, because that's their job. That's their means of supporting themselves, supporting their family. So yeah, you can say it's not personal, but it is. It might not be a personal reason that there's a rejection in there, but and that's hard to not take those personally, as I've seen those emails, I've received those emails. I've have some that we still giggle about, 10, 15, 20 years later, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that person wrote that. But it really comes down to, as a recruiter, you're an employee.
Yes,
you are. Well, maybe not you, Rich, but
I can do anything I want.
You're working for someone. You are. We're all working for someone, whether we're working.
It was tough because you had to go by the policy, and you have to say, it's okay. You're going to put my car on blocks. Okay, I'll report that. Meanwhile, I want to say some choice words and call the person up, 10 times.
Right.
Let's get outside, dude.
But it is really, because we've all had those hiring managers that are, this needs to be filled immediately. Well, yeah, good luck. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't have 25 candidates just sitting here waiting for that job to open up.
But you know what's funny now? When they have policy, when I go in now as myself and I tell them that up front, they wish the other recruiters would do the same, my competition, but they can't. Me, I'm like, dude, I can't do this shit for you. I mean, we cuss each other back and forth, but now I'm the number one recruiter for that company because I'm keeping it real. I went off policy.
We have to be honest with them. And every in-house recruiter job that I've had, I always end up with the quote tough hiring managers, because I'm straight with them. Like, no, we're not. I'm sorry. No, we're not. I'm not going to bend over backwards. I'm not going to work late to get this posted. We'll post it in the morning. It will be fine.
Exactly. I'm not kissing your butt to keep this contract.
I remember once telling a director that he wanted us to put a director position in the newspaper as an ad.
Like, is this recent?
It was probably about 15 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But he wanted us to put a director position in the newspaper. And I was like,
no.
I said, do you really want, what candidate do you think that you want? Do you think is reading the newspaper want ads? And it's going to cost you $500.
Yeah.
And so it was really, finding those other ways to talk with them about, okay, let's talk about where we can post this position where you're going to get the most bang for your buck, because it's not going to be in our hometown newspaper.
Right.
Exactly. So getting real quick on the recruiter burnout, one more last thing is,
Sure.
do you like the KPI stuff, you guys, and all that metrics, or should we change it up? Because sometimes I think recruiters just go by the metrics and they forget about the human connection. It's all about number. I know
I
that's
think
great.
we're measuring the wrong stuff.
Thank you.
We're measuring the wrong stuff. My last recruiter job, they were talking about we have to be faster. We have to be faster. We have to be faster than McDonald's. So, McDonald's, they have
Process
McDonald's versus healthcare. Yeah. So, and honestly, yes, we are competing for some of the same candidates. We are, because hospital jobs across the board. Do we really want to be known as the hospital that recruits you faster, or shouldn't we just be better?
Mm-hmm.
And so how can we learn from what McDonald's is doing? Because they're doing some great stuff. They're turning stuff but they're also a churn and burn.
Yeah, they're not like a Chick-fil-A, which is human connection.
Yeah, they want to get you in, get you here, and if you leave, that's okay. They have decided that their turnover number is okay. So if we are okay with that turnover number, then yes, we can do that. We can be faster. But we still have to have certain information from each candidate. We still need to go through certain things. As a hospital, we can't just have them start tomorrow. We have to do a background check. We have to do these certain things. So we are 2 weeks out. We just are. So how can we set expectations? How can we better communicate with candidates of what to expect, and how can we follow up on those? And then on the other side of that, how do we help our recruiters hold our hiring managers accountable to making sure we stay up to speed with that? Because if you want to get churn and burn, get people in faster, those hiring managers have to be on board too. We did have some hiring managers that put some of that into the recruiter's hand. Like, you know what? You do it. You interview, you hire, I'll take whoever you send me. I trust you.
Wow.
I like that too. In a way, that's building a bond. That's a relationship right there.
Because, and think about it. So your custodial staff, do they really need 2 interviews?
No.
And they get
Food
tired of
service
that
workers,
point too,
do they need 3 interviews? No, they need 1. Can they do the job? Then great. Then let's get them in, get them trained, get them excited about working for a company. Talk about your career pathing. And, also let's be okay if somebody wants to come in and they want to be the best custodial staff person for the rest of their life. Yay. Let's celebrate that too. Let's not celebrate people who become managers and supervisors. I have no desire to manage people.
Nope. And this onboarding process goes so long. Sometimes it goes forever. And I'm even bored with it. I'm thinking, I'm so bored with this candidate because you're just dragging it along.
Some of my favorite ones. So we would bring in directors is a way in the past organization. I would schedule 3-day interviews where they would meet all the leadership team and they'd meet the people that were going to report to them. And, it's like an event, which can be great. But when the hiring manager comes to me an hour after the person's interviews started and is like, yeah, we're not going to hire them. I'm like, they're here for 3 more days.
And they still go through with the remaining days.
Yeah. So at that point, I started telling her, do not tell me that. If you still want them to go through all of that, because we've gone to the expense, we've brought them there. Yeah. Don't tell me. Wait till after they leave, then tell me, because I don't want to know and get pissed for the next 3 days because I'm the one taking this person around and guiding them and taking them to all their next interviews and helping them meet people and scheduling dinners and all of this. And I don't want to know that you decided within an hour of meeting them, which probably you should have known within the first minute of the phone interview.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a lot. And you know what? I love how you said that, Wendy, because the recruiters and hiring managers, it's so stressed out. They got to be on the same page. Yeah. And I think that's the big disconnect we have in our industry, that one's this way, one's this way. Yeah. And nobody ever calls each other out or even has a meeting. They're just like, I'm not going to say nothing.
Oh, and so many recruiters their hands are tied too, because they report this way and the hiring manager reports this way, and they never have a connect even up at the top level to say, look, if we're going to do this and we're going to do it right, hiring managers, we all need to be on the same page and doing things the same way and having those conversations. And you need to be accountable. There needs to be someone holding those hiring managers. I'm going to blame the hiring managers for a lot of this because they're off in their own little world. And I get they're busy. I understand.
Never return phone calls.
Never return phone calls and then are like, well, why can't we interview people? Why can't you find me anybody?
Or you send them 3 candidates and they're on vacation for 2 weeks. They didn't tell you. And then they're like, oh, he'll be back in 3 weeks. Like,
right.
What am I supposed to do with these? Put
Those
them in a holding
candidates are
stage?
gone in 3
They
weeks.
need money.
Yeah, they're gone. We'll start over when you get back.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah, we're done.
All right, let's move to the holiday fun section. All right, Rich, I'm going to let you.
All right. First one.
Okay.
Favorite holiday movie.
Oh, Christmas Vacation. Hands down.
The
Hands down.
shitter is full. Let's say it. Seriously. That is one of the
Rusty
biggest.
still in the Navy? I love Aunt Bethany. She cracks me up every time.
Hey, let's say Grace. Grace died how many years ago?
Grace died 30 years ago.
Clark, when we leave in 2 months. Clark, when we leave in 2 months.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
That's an RV, Clark. That's an RV.
She wrapped her cat up, man. Like that's.
Woo!
There's got to be some law against that.
And it's just on the absurd side enough where you can recognize it. You recognize these people from your own family or own circles that so we watch that every year when we're putting up the Christmas tree. And then so I got to get a shout out. My second favorite is the Muppet Christmas Carol. Another classic. Classic.
No,
Yeah.
Okay, so Muppets. I like the Jug Band. What's it called? Emmett Otter.
Oh, Emmett Otter's Christmas.
Oh,
yes.
that's a great one.
That is a good one too. Yeah, I haven't watched. Oh, I'm gonna have to find that. I don't think it's on Disney Plus.
So getting back to the Christmas story, National Lampoons.
Yeah.
The Jolly the Month Club. Any hiring managers out there, anything, treat your employees with respect. Is that a great thing?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Seriously, no bonus this year, and you don't tell them. It happens all the time in our industry too.
It does, and that you could go through that with every HR
it's a great
issue
scenario, isn't it?
That, and it's just like
because we might tie you up too.
Yeah. Yes, you would, or you want to. That's the other thing that's so relatable about it. You want someone to tie up your boss.
Kidnapping.
Where's Eddie at when you need him? There's got to be an Eddie in every town, right?
There has to be. But then I do love that his wife is when she finds out, she's just like, you did what? All the low down dirty tricks.
Really?
Yeah. That was it is just it's such a
classic. It's a classic.
Yeah.
Even Ralphie, real quick, throwing it out, Ralphie with the tongue on the flagpole. We've all tried that. I tried it every year, and it does.
I've never done that. Absolutely not.
I have never been stupid enough to do that.
Thank you. I think that might be a young boy thing. I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, at my age, I still did it. It was for $20.
For $20.
Oh.
Well, the thing about it is if you because I remember my 4th grade science teacher talking about this, and she's like, you don't need to pull them off. You just pour some warm water over it and everything will be fine because you just need to melt the ice.
The key is to keep your tongue dry when it goes on. If it's real moist, it'll stick. Boom, like glue. I got this down pat.
Enough.
Oh my goodness.
Enough.
No.
Okay, so you told us your favorite movie. What about your favorite food or your favorite song? And your favorite song, apologies.
Okay, favorite food. So every year, my girls and I make Alton Brown's recipe for sugar cookies, rollout cookies. It is extremely buttery. Yes. And we make special Santa cookies. I will have to post a link so you can see. We haven't made them yet this year. But the design is from my mother-in-law. And so when my husband and I got together for years ago, we just celebrated 20 years of marriage. I should be proud of that.
You're in that 5%.
So he showed me how she made them. So I've been making them as long as we've been together. And then when I found the Alton Brown recipe, it is the one that works for me best. They're still, I always undercook my cookies a little bit, so they're still chewy.
Yeah.
I don't like crispy cookies, but we still have a lot of fun. We make a big mess and
love that.
Sugar and everything all over the place.
And butter.
And butter, yes. Butter. Do not skimp. If you are vegan, I'm sorry. but butter does make these cookies the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the brown butter? Everything is brown butter now.
So brown butter is you cook the butter, you melt it, and you cook it in the on the stove until it gets like a nutty smell.
Oh, okay.
But you have to watch it, or you will burn it. And burnt butter is not good.
No.
You want the brown, but it is delicious. It is. I've made a brown butter garlic lime sauce for salmon. That
sounds good.
Delicious.
That sounds great. I love salmon too.
Yeah.
I was on the Trader Joe's website yesterday looking at holiday recipes, and everything was like brown butter. It's
kind of a thing right now. It's kind of like the salted. Everything was salted caramel a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Now everything is brown butter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do still like a good salted caramel coffee. Ooh.
Yeah, those are good. I'm drinking peppermint mocha today, homemade.
Nice.
Listen,
Dunkin' Donuts is the best right now. The Polar peppermint coffee from Dunkin' Donuts, you have to buy at Walmart or anything, is bomb. I got 7 bags. Starbucks gingerbread, not impressed this year at all.
Listen, I had an espresso coffee for the first time last week, and I am so sad that I only have a Keurig. Like, I'm like,
those are pretty pricey though. You might have to put that on your list for Santa.
Wendy, you drink coffee?
I do drink coffee. Yeah.
Did you guys ever try the Nitro down here? Like the Nitro, like it's like a draft beer, like it looks like a Guinness.
Oh yeah.
Them things will jack you up. Dunkin' Donuts has it down here. That's like 7 different nitros.
Oh yeah.
Like a 12-ounce nitro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even 7-Eleven does that now. Like 7-Eleven is fancy. Like they have all the.
I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty good for a coffee.
You can't beat it for $1.69. Come on.
We don't have 7-Elevens in South Dakota anymore. They all left.
You probably have a lot of gourmet coffee shops, right? I would say.
We've got 3 in town, which so we've got one that if you are in the mood for like a sweeter coffee with. They put some great syrups and sauce. They don't use caramel syrup. They use a caramel sauce in their salted caramel
dessert.
It's so good. And then we have another one called Cool Beans. Love that place. Their coffee is a little more bitter, but they have a Paul Bunyan where they use maple syrup and cinnamon and nutmeg. So good.
Okay.
But reminds me, I need to pick up their. They do a Jingle Bell Rock. Coffee blend beans that you can buy. So I need to go. I need to go get that. Yeah. It's yummy.
So you have your own ice cream. What coffee? Like what ice cream would you pair with your favorite salted caramel coffee?
Oh, I would do the cinnamon toast. So it's a bourbon vanilla ice cream. And then you soak the base in Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal, and you take the cereal out before you churn it. So it's like the milk at the end of your cereal bowl. It's just the bourbon kicks up the flavor, and then you've got that cinnamony and teeny tiny pieces of cereal that get left in it.
Wow. Okay, so now I got another idea. I think you should have recipes out there for all the recruiters in the morning so they can have their gourmet coffee. They can be better performance, everything. They'll be happy with a smile on their face.
Yeah. Better performance. Get your coffee.
Listen.
Plenty of it.
This is my second cup. And
I'm about to make my second cup, so I
know
hear
that's right. All right. What's your song? What's your holiday song?
Oh, that is harder. Jessie, my youngest, is 13, and she has been running around singing "It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year."
Really?
Yes. And so I'm gonna go with that one this year because she comes out of her room. You know, she's 13, so most of the time when she gets up in the morning, it's but December came around and she comes out. It's the most wonderful time.
I love that. Set the tone, Jessie. Set the tone.
She does. She does. And her older sister just kind of glares at her, but that's okay.
Is there another song you like? Because I'm going to tell you right now, we had it on the last show. Last Christmas is the bomb. Wham.
Oh, Last Christmas. So
Come on, KG. You know.
Last Christmas and the Mariah Carey "All I Want for Christmas."
Mhm.
Those are the two that I tell people, you either love these songs or you hate them with a passion. There is no middle ground typically with those two songs.
Well, I love Mariah.
I do love Mariah. I was trying to explain Mariah Carey back in our day, Kirsten, back in the 90s when she first came out, and how, you know, amazing it was. And like, you all have lived with Mariah your entire life.
Yeah.
And then my husband has got Jesse hooked on Last Christmas, the original long playing video that Wham put out. Have you seen it?
Incredible. Yeah. From the Swiss Alps or whatever. Yes.
Oh, you have to find it. You have to find it, Kirsten, because it's Wham and all their friends going and spending a week at a Christmas week, and
the old Jeep Wranglers in the video.
Yes.
And everything.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
Like,
it is.
George Michael has more makeup
terrible.
than anybody has on his show, you know?
Yeah. You know, I
incredible.
had zero gaydar back there then. So I was so thrown when I found out he was gay. It just.
Wasn't it like great, the whole video, like when they were setting up the plates? Do you know behind the scene on it? I watched it. They poured wine for the video. And they had their friends in there. That was all their friends.
Oh, like, I figured that.
They get met. And they said, the guy said, we cannot have the wine in the video. The one guy started drinking them all. Like 6 glasses, like in 2 minutes. Swear to God, it's behind the scenes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Take it for the team. That's a good friend.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, I'll just drink all that for you. Go.
All right. Last question, and we're going to let you get out of here. Do you set New Year's resolutions? And if so, can you share any unique or interesting ones for 2024?
You know, my oldest graduates from high school this year in 2024. So my only resolution is to get through all of it with as few tears as possible.
No, I don't think that's a good one. I think you should cry as much as you want.
Cry, mama, cry.
You know, we're setting up the Christmas tree, and I'm just kind of like.
But you know what? Those are cherished memories. You guys have an entire year to build more memories.
We've got. I am looking forward to it, but because she's going to be great. She's going to be fine, and she's going to be around the area. She's not moving away, so we're not going to lose her. She's not.
Good deal.
Not going to go far away, but yeah, she's. You know, my first baby is going to be leaving the nest. And yeah, we've been joking with Jessie because she keeps saying she's going to move right into Maggie's room when Maggie leaves. And I was just like, you realize Maggie's not like moving out the day after graduation.
Isn't that great with siblings? As soon as somebody leaves, they want to take over their territory.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
Their makeup, everything. I'll take everything.
If Maggie, and then she's telling me all these plans she has for Maggie's room. And I was like, you're not doing any of that. Where are you getting your money? You don't have a job.
Oh, well, Jessie could get a job. Jessie, we're going to make sure that you get the room of your dreams.
Oh, boy, KG.
Oh.
There's the promise.
Mama says no. Auntie say yes.
Oh, she will love you forever.
Listen, I'm going to start a petition. I'm calling Minyard, Kate. I'm calling Minyard, Kate, Sarah. I'm calling everybody. We're getting Jessie. Getting Jessie the room of her dream. Jazzy, all of us. Like, guys, come on, tap in. Send the cash up. Send Jessie's cash up. We're gonna get Jessie the room.
She'd spend it all at Sephora first.
Oh, well, never mind. Wendy, it's always a pleasure talking to you.
It always is.
So much fun.
Love it.
So much fun with the shark. You guys come back. You know, we've got more rocking around the recruiter tree fun.
It'll be awesome.
We'll see. Next up is Josh Rock.
Nice.
So, yeah, we're still out there in the cold region.
Yeah. We know what's up here in the Midwest. We know.
Yes. Midwest is representing. He's coming from Minnesota. And then we're going even further on our last show. We're going all the way to Canada. Yeah. So let's get it done. See you on the next one. Thank you again, Wendy. Come back, see the shark, and Kirsten. Trap Recruiter, rocking around this recruiter tree.
You know
Thanks,
it.
everyone.
Happy holidays.